Welcome everyone to this monthly musing. Today we get to give our attention to one of my favorite parts of the map, at least the part that moves me the most in my integrity, in my moral compass, in giving me the values that support love, that support living love. So the doorways of Azul, the 6 doorways of Azul: kindness, honesty, self-responsibility, dedication, service, and beauty. What happens when these 6 values are embodied? When we practice them, we would live in a different world if these were the ground that we were standing on and relating to each other from. They serve our awakening very well. It's an amazing gift to be able to come into relationship with each of them. They do something in our system, in our body. Not only do they give us support in how we move, but they also become the ground for the second layer of forgiveness and compassion and gratitude. These, of course, can be practiced without the 6 underneath them, okay? The 3 flowers of gratitude, compassion, and forgiveness can be practiced on their own, but they go much further when they come from the ground of the others. Let me explain maybe a little bit of why that is, because it's very simple in one way. We can forgive with our words quite, I wouldn't say easily, because forgiveness is a process, okay? But we can imagine that in the process of forgiveness, there is one level or layer of forgiveness that happens when we can even say the words, I forgive you. I forgive you, Dad, for leaving when I was 3. I can say those words, and I can, even because I really do feel those words, I feel them in my heart, it goes to another layer. So when we can say the words and feel them in our heart, it changes the spiral, right? When I can fully embody my forgiveness for my father, which comes from a deep process, doesn't just come, it comes from understanding what happened, my side, his side. It comes from feeling what I was unable to feel at the time that it happened. Because of course, as a 3-year-old, I can't process that. And this is true for many of us. Many of us have things that happen at an age and a time where we can't process it. And it's okay. I want to put into the field that it's even more than okay. It's actually a part of your soul and what it's here to encounter in order to heal. I can feel the truth of this in my own story, right? The way that impact at 3 shaped who I am and what it's doing now in my life to heal me, to heal the lineage, and also to clear the path for my son and daughter. I can feel all of that super clearly. And even now in my life, with all that I have done to process and to heal that particular wound, I can still go back into that point and use it to awaken. I have just had this experience again, being inside of our LEAP container, okay? Inside of that year-long spiral that we are negotiating and riding together as a community that is allowing these deeper healings to happen, okay? And one of the things that we're practicing inside of that leap container is the doorways, is these 6 values that create the conditions for us to be able to more fully forgive, to more fully reach the heart that does the work of the dissolving and of the unwinding of those impacts and energetic knots and patterns that have formed in our system. There really is a physicality to awakening. Okay? So, back to our doorways. I hope that got you a little excited or opened a door for you around the LEAP program, because it's a very dear one to my heart and is doing something for our Azul community and can do something for you if you choose to come inside of that. Okay? So these 6 values, doorways to love, we call them, because if we work and we hold them and we practice them in our lives, if we practice kindness in the little small acts, in the way that I treat my body when I wake up in the morning. I've been having these delicious moments of like waking up and like settling into my bed and releasing my body into the bed and fully letting it be received in the bed before I ask it to rise and enter the day. And that is an act of kindness towards myself. In the small acts of kindness that we can extend to another, to the way that we give money to the homeless person on the street, that we include looking in their eyes and treating them as a human being. Wow, it is thundering here. I wonder if you can hear that. Oh, that's beautiful. I hope that you can hear the rumble there. So the ways that we hold kindness towards another, may we cultivate that in our day. I've been leaning into it a lot with Pier Paolo and how I choose to love him and extend to him. It's a daily practice of kindness. And kindness supports our ability to be honest. It kind of goes hand in hand. There's a reason the kindness is first, because kindness with honesty moves the dial. Honesty without kindness can sometimes be harsh, right? So that possibility that I can be honest with myself with kindness, that I can see myself clearly, that I can know that there is a way that I cannot see myself, that I make a space for that. Because there is truth in our blind spots. There is truth in the difficulty that we have in seeing ourselves clearly. We have kind of an idealized version of who we want to be, who we think we are. And getting closer and taking self-responsibility, which is that third one, for who we are and how we move, seeing ourselves more clearly is part of how we awaken out of that illusion, not only of our idealized self, but also of our separation. So honesty can take us quite far with the support of our observer that holds us with love, that notices with love. That is an act of kindness that accompanies our honesty. Okay? May we together take steps to embrace more fully who we are, both in our light and in our shadow. Can you feel the space of that, the possibility of that, the freedom of that? May we use that, may we remember that, and may it add strength to our honesty. May we stand fully. If you can, feel your feet on the ground. Can we stand fully in self-responsibility? Feel that centeredness. Feel centering in your body, in yourself. The gathering, instead of the blame and the victim and the spewing out, all there, collecting it in, centering and standing in greater self-responsibility for our experience of this moment. I'm not asking or suggesting that we take responsibility for the trauma and the impacts that have happened to us. I'm suggesting that we can take responsibility for who we are now. And hold those impacts and hold those parts of us that need more love, that need to be included, that need to be held and embraced and acknowledged. May our self-responsibility help us to hold them with love and bring them towards the heart. This is a part of our self-responsibility, the part of the way that it can serve us. In some ways, it is the ticket to our freedom to stand in self-responsibility. So may you take a moment and receive that energetic in your body of centering and standing in greater self-responsibility. Beautiful. Let's give our attention for a moment to dedication, to this beautiful mix of our will and our devotion, our masculine will and our feminine devotion, and the way that they dance together to create our dedication, to support our dedication. May they be a guiding force in our life, allowing ourselves to be in devotion, allowing ourselves to feel the fire of our own will, letting these dance together to support staying steady in our practice, staying steady in our dedication to live love as best we can, not in perfection or perfection in the imperfection, however you choose to hold that. Okay, the dedication that can guide each day, living our life as our spiritual practice, the meditation of living with as much presence as we can. Service, the currency of evolution that moves us in that upward spiral. Why do you think there are so many beings that are supporting what is happening here? That is supporting you in your life? Because it is the currency of service. It is the way that it is what moves all of us in our upward spiral of awakening to be in service, and also to include ourselves in the service, okay? Because for most of us, with bringing together our divinity and our humanity, it's important to include ourselves. Yes, there is a very high form of altruism where we are giving only to give, we are serving only to serve. But in our human bodies, in our day-to-day life, there's a practicality to it that for me suggests that it's important that you include yourself in the service. That you are not just giving to give to the other, but that inside of that giving to the other, you are also receiving, that you feel that you are also receiving. I know this is very true for me. I live in a deep current of service, and I couldn't do it if it wasn't also serving me. I am also fed by that, very much so. So I invite you to find your way of being inside of that current of service, bringing your work and your purpose in life more closely into that current of service. I think you might know what that might mean for you. And may we remember beauty as the rain starts to fall from the thunder that was happening. Perhaps you can hear the rain falling, blessing the ground, creating beauty with its touch. Beauty in how we move and what we create around us, and in how we hold the world. It's going to start raining harder now, so I'm going to let this wrap up now. But let's call in beauty in all its shapes and sizes and ways. May it continue to bless us. May it continue to serve us. May we continue to see each other with the eyes of beauty. Can we hold what is happening in our world with the eyes of beauty, knowing somehow it is moving us towards love, because this is our ultimate truth. It is all that it can be. There is a very high level that says all of this is an expression of God and must be moving us towards love. May we hold the suffering that is happening along the way, and through beauty give it a place to land in our bodies and in our hearts. Let's enjoy this month together of giving our attention to these doorways, to letting them become more a part of our daily rhythm and our daily life and the way that we move. Have a beautiful rest of your day. See you soon on the dance floor.